My dear friends, I wish to speak to you today about a peculiar phenomenon I have observed in my years of studying the human soul and its many expressions in this earthly existence. There are among us certain individuals who, when their birthday arrives each year, treat it as they would any ordinary day. They do not seek celebration. They do not announce it to others. They do not expect gifts or special treatment. To the casual observer, this might seem like mere humility or perhaps indifference, but I tell you, there is something far deeper at work in the consciousness of such souls. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, let's join our community by subscribing to our channel so you don't miss about Yogananda's wisdom. When we examine the psychology of these individuals who regard their birthday as just another rotation of the earth around the sun, we must first understand what a birthday represents in the collective consciousness of humanity. For most people, a birthday is a marker of personal significance, a day when the universe is asked to pause and acknowledge their individual existence. It is a day when the ego seeks validation, when the small self desires to be seen, celebrated, and affirmed by others. There is nothing inherently wrong with this desire, for we are all human, and the need for recognition is woven into the fabric of our earthly nature. But those who treat their birthday as ordinary have somehow transcended this particular attachment, and in their transcendence, they reveal something profound about the nature of consciousness itself. Let me share with you what I have discovered in the hearts of such people. First and foremost, they possess a diminished identification with the temporal self. You see, my friends, most of humanity lives in a state of deep identification with the body and the personality. We believe we are this form, this name, this collection of memories and experiences that began on a particular date. The birthday becomes sacred because it marks the beginning of me, as we understand it. But those who pass over their birthday without ceremony have begun to realize, whether consciously or unconsciously, that they are not merely this body that was born on a certain day. They have touched, even if fleetingly, the eternal nature of their true self, which was never born and will never die. This is not to say that such individuals have achieved complete enlightenment or that they no longer identify with the ego at all. Rather, they have loosened the grip of temporal identification just enough to see their birthday for what it truly is in the grand scheme of existence. They understand, perhaps intuitively, that the soul's journey did not begin with this particular incarnation, and it will not end when this body returns to dust. The birthday, then, loses some of its significance because it is merely one point on an infinite continuum of existence. There is also in these souls a natural inclination toward inner validation rather than external validation. The world teaches us from childhood that our worth must be confirmed by others, that we need the applause and recognition of our fellow human beings to know that we matter. The birthday becomes an annual opportunity for this validation, a day when we can measure our importance by the number of well-wishers, the size of the celebration, the thoughtfulness of the gifts. But those who treat their birthday as ordinary have discovered a different source of validation. They have found, whether through spiritual practice, life experience, or innate wisdom, that their worth is not determined by external acknowledgement. They know themselves from within, and this inner knowing is sufficient. I have observed that such individuals often possess a quality of self-sufficiency that is rare in our modern world. They do not need the world to remind them that they exist or that they have value. This is not arrogance or isolation, but rather a deep-rootedness in their own being. They have cultivated an inner relationship with themselves that does not require constant reinforcement from outside sources. When your birthday comes and you do not feel the need to celebrate it, you are demonstrating that you have found a wellspring of contentment within yourself that does not depend on special occasions or external circumstances. Furthermore, these individuals often exhibit a profound understanding of the equality of all days. In the spiritual life, we speak often of living in the eternal now, of recognizing that each moment is equally sacred and equally ordinary. Those who treat their birthday as just another day have grasped this truth in a practical way. They understand that every day is a gift, every morning is a rebirth, every breath is a miracle. Why should one day be more special than another when all days are manifestations of the divine? This perspective reveals a consciousness that has moved beyond the artificial divisions and hierarchies that the mind creates. It is a consciousness that sees the sacred in the mundane and the mundane in the sacred. There is also often present in such souls a quality of humility that runs very deep. The birthday celebration, at its core, is an act of self-focus. It says to the world, "Today is about me." For those who have cultivated genuine humility, this kind of self-focus feels uncomfortable or unnecessary. They do not wish to place themselves at the center of attention, not because they think poorly of themselves, but because they have transcended the need to be at the center. They are content to be one among many, to let their life speak for itself without requiring special recognition. This humility is not self-deprecation but rather a recognition of their place in the vast tapestry of existence, neither more nor less important than any other thread. I must also speak to you about the relationship these individuals have with time itself. Most of humanity is enslaved by time, constantly measuring and marking it, dividing life into segments and milestones. The birthday is perhaps the ultimate temporal milestone, the annual reminder that time is passing, that we are aging, that our earthly existence is finite. Those who treat their birthday as ordinary have often developed a different relationship with time. They may live more fully in the present moment, less concerned with marking the passage of years. Or they may have made peace with their mortality in a way that makes the counting of years seem less urgent. They understand that while the body ages, the true self is timeless, and this understanding frees them from the anxiety that often accompanies birthdays as we grow older. Let me tell you something else I have noticed about these remarkable souls. They often possess a natural detachment from material things and social rituals. The birthday celebration in modern society has become heavily commercialized and ritualized. There are expected behaviors, traditional gifts, conventional ways of marking the occasion. Those who opt out of birthday celebrations are often people who have developed a healthy detachment from such social conventions. They do not feel bound by what society says they should do or how they should feel. This detachment is a sign of spiritual maturity, an indication that they are living according to their own inner guidance rather than external programming. But I must caution you, my friends, not to confuse this genuine spiritual quality with other motivations that might lead someone to ignore their birthday. Some people avoid birthday celebrations because of past trauma or painful associations with the day. Others may do so out of depression or a sense of unworthiness. Still others might be making a statement of rebellion against social norms or seeking attention through their very refusal of attention. These are different psychological states entirely, and we must be discerning in our understanding. The person I am describing, who treats their birthday as ordinary from a place of spiritual maturity, does so with peace and contentment, not with bitterness or pain. The truly evolved soul who passes over their birthday without fanfare does so naturally, without effort or self-consciousness. They are not trying to prove anything or make a statement. They simply do not feel the pull toward celebration that others feel. This naturalness is key. When spiritual qualities are genuine, they flow effortlessly from our being. We do not have to force them or announce them. They are simply who we are. I have also observed that such individuals often have a strong sense of purpose that transcends personal milestones. They are focused on something larger than themselves, whether it be service to others, creative work, spiritual practice, or the pursuit of truth. When you are deeply engaged in meaningful work, when you are living for something greater than your own small self, the birthday becomes less significant. You are not measuring your life in years but in contribution, in growth, in the depth of your experience and the breadth of your love. The birthday is just another day to continue the work, to serve, to grow, to love. There is also often present a quality of contentment with the present moment exactly as it is. Those who crave birthday celebrations are often seeking something they feel is missing from their ordinary life, a moment of specialness to break up the monotony. a dose of attention and love to fill an inner emptiness. But those who are content with the ordinary have found richness in the everyday. They do not need special occasions because every occasion is already special in its own way. They have learned the great spiritual secret that happiness is not found in extraordinary moments, but in the extraordinary appreciation of ordinary moments. Let me share with you another dimension of this psychology. These individuals often possess a mature understanding of love and connection. They know that love is not measured in birthday cards and surprise parties. They know that the people who truly care for them do not need a calendar date to express that care. And they themselves do not need ritualized expressions of affection to feel loved. Their relationships are built on a foundation of consistent, authentic connection rather than on the performance of social obligations. This is a sign of emotional and spiritual maturity, an understanding that love is a state of being, not a series of events. I must also speak about the relationship these souls have with their own mortality. For many people, birthdays become increasingly difficult as they age because each one is a reminder that death is approaching. But those who treat their birthday as ordinary have often made peace with death. They understand that death is not an ending but a transition, that the body's expiration date does not define the worth or meaning of a life. This acceptance of mortality paradoxically allows them to live more fully, because they are not wasting energy on anxiety about aging or desperate attempts to hold on to youth. They are free to simply be, to live each day as it comes, without the burden of temporal anxiety. There is also frequently present a quality of authenticity in these individuals. In our society, there is tremendous pressure to perform happiness, to present a curated version of ourselves to the world, to participate in social rituals even when they do not resonate with us. Those who quietly opt out of birthday celebrations are often people who have chosen authenticity over conformity. They would rather be true to themselves than perform for others. This authenticity is a precious quality, one that becomes more valuable as we progress on the spiritual path. To be yourself, fully and unapologetically, without needing to conform to others' expectations, this is a form of freedom that few achieve. My dear friends, as I conclude these reflections, I want to emphasize that there is no right or wrong way to approach your birthday. If you find joy in celebration, celebrate. If you find peace in treating it as ordinary, do so. The spiritual path is not about following rules or conforming to ideals, but about knowing yourself deeply and living in alignment with your true nature. What I have described here is simply one expression of consciousness, one way that spiritual maturity might manifest in a human life. But I will say this: whether you celebrate your birthday or not, use it as an opportunity for reflection. Ask yourself who you truly are beyond this body that was born on a certain date. Ask yourself what really matters in your life, what you are living for, what legacy of love and wisdom you are creating. Ask yourself if you are living authentically or merely performing for others. Ask yourself if you have found that inner source of validation and contentment that does not depend on external circumstances. The birthday, like all of life's markers and milestones, is ultimately just a mirror. It reflects back to us our relationship with ourselves, with time, with mortality, with meaning. Those who treat it as ordinary have found a certain kind of peace, a certain kind of freedom. But remember, the goal is not to treat your birthday as ordinary. The goal is to treat every day as sacred, to live so fully and authentically that no single day needs to be elevated above the others, because all days are lived with presence, purpose, and love. May you find your own truth in this matter, and may that truth bring you closer to the eternal self that you truly are, beyond all birthdays, beyond all time, beyond all the temporary identifications of this earthly existence. That is my prayer for you today and always.